The Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Visit the website to find out more or get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90. We've lost again. We have lost again. And it's a kicker, this. I think it's a reality check to a lot of us. Because, look, under Ruben Sayers, we were massively underperforming as a side, undoubtedly. But I think a lot of, me included, got caught up in the Wilder euphoria. And there's already talk about, never mind playoffs, there's some in our group talking about automatic promotion, or there was before today. There's a big job on his hands here. He said in his post-match, there's work to do. Never a truer word spoken. The players don't really look, I mean, it were better today. It were better. There's no... I'm not going to try and make out like it were a lot worse than it was, because I wouldn't want to. I want to come on and be able to give you a positive spin on how it went. And I think we were more positive in our play. It appeared as though we started out well. There's something missing, and I think it's not the players' ability, because we've seen it, certainly from the majority of the team. It's confidence and momentum. And it's how do you get that back once it's been knocked out of you like it has? I mean, there's a few things that I want to talk about, because I think we looked toothless up front, completely toothless. We didn't create anything. I don't just blame Tyrese Campbell, although I got slaughtered in the closed season, and my dad agreed with me, suggesting that we might just want to keep an eye on Tyrese Campbell here, because he's had his best season ever for Sheffield United. And we saw the best of Tyrese Campbell that he's ever played. And we can't hold him to those levels all the time, or we can't expect him to reach those levels all the time. And I'm worried that might have been the best of him. And if that's the case, then will we, can we expect him to get back to where he was last season? I'm not sure, is the honest answer. I mentioned it as a bit of a purple patch. And I know it was an extended one, but John Lundstrom had a season like that for us, where he was great for a year and then tapered off. I don't want this to be the case, but I wanted to mention it because I felt it was a real possibility at the time, and I wonder now if we're starting to see him drop a level, if you like, in terms of his output and different things like that. I'm starting at the top of the pitch and going backwards, I suppose, but I'm starting to lose faith a little bit in Tom Cannon, and it doesn't please me in any way to do that, because I've held fast for a long time, and I will continue to support him. I obviously want him to do well. He's a Blade, and we all want him to do well. But I can't. He was anonymous again today when he came on. Didn't trouble the back line at all. And again, I think he's feeding off scraps a little bit. I think Gusema was largely quiet in spells today. Thought Callum Aware runs about, but what really comes of his efforts, not an awful lot in truth. Ogbenny, I thought, did okay. I've seen some comments in our chat, and I try not to let that steer my thought process, but he's taking a little bit of stick in our chat for not taking his man on, and we've not seen pace that we expected. So I thought he did okay, to be honest. I thought he gave us an option down the right. I thought he gave us a different outlet. And it was nice to see somebody mixing it up a little bit and going either right or left. And I think we're going to look better for Che Ogbeni being in the side. Pekka Matos is an issue. And it's a good job that I'm the only one doing this stream tonight. Obviously, we'll have callers come on. Platinum Ramblers are able to call in and discuss how they feel about the game. But Eki Outsal couldn't come today, so it was just me and my dad. So there's me and Andy the Blade, and he was, as he always is, straight down the line with his opinion. He's saying to me, Siddy Peck is not the one. Siddy Peck is not the one. At this moment in time, he's not doing it at all. He says he's a mid-level championship player. And he said the same about Matos. Obviously, I haven't seen Matos for the same amount of time. But he thinks that pairing in the middle, taking away the whole physicality and presence element of it, which is something that a lot of us feel we need, he thinks that's a glaring weakness in our centre midfield. And I'm not as harsh about it from my own perspective, but I certainly see where he's coming from. Certainly see where he's coming from on that. Harrison Burrows, I thought, were better today. Still not brilliant. Looked shaky at times. Ben Godfrey, I thought, similar. I thought he needed to be better than Ipswich. It was an atrocious performance. And I thought he started off a lot more comfortable, which I was pleased to see. And then second half, again, I thought he looked a little bit suspect at times when he was being run at. His positional awareness, I don't think he always knows where to be. It does lend itself to him not being super comfortable at right back, although I keep pushing that he's played there more times than he has at centre half, which is true professionally, but still doesn't make him a natural right back, does it? And then it were interesting to see Tanganga and McGuinness switch, and McGuinness played on the right side of defence and Tanganga on the left. Now, I think Tanganga did well. He's an athlete. If he ever makes a slight error of judgment, he can often get back and recover really well because he's good enough. And I think he's certainly one of the best at this level. I thought a couple of times he put himself in trouble. I think McGuinness looks very comfortable today. I think once or twice when the ball were flicked on, I think his turn of pace is going to concern me. But we've got Tanganga there to mop up as well. I've seen Michael Cooper take some stick for the goal. I think Cooper's saved a nailed-on goal in first half. We were right behind it. There were a header that came in, and he's put a superb save to knock it up into the air. And then it came back across goal, and they should have scored, to be honest. I think I don't think we deserve to lose per se. I don't think we can argue with the result. We certainly didn't deserve to win, in my opinion. We're not creating anything. We're not creating any. How many clear-cut chances did we have today? And this is the concern that I've got. Because you look at some of the players on the pitch, and every team in this league would take Gus Hamer off us. Every team in this league. I think Callum Aware's decent for the level. Decent. I think Ogbeni's decent for the level. I'm pleased with him. I'm not. This isn't a downer on him, but we need to be more productive in the final third. Tyrese Campbell, not pulling up any trees at all, and then to replace him at the moment, we've got Tom Cannon, who's again, confidence on the floor. Confidence is such a huge thing for players at any level. Charlton have come up and they've bounced, and they're riding a wave of momentum. We've done it ourselves. We did it in the Premier League. We did. So that's probably a better example. You look at the 2019-2020 season. We're in the Premier League and we finished 9th. We roll into that season. Yeah, we had some new additions, but the core of the squad remained the same. And we rode that momentum into the season and continued and wrung every drip out of it that we could. And that got us to where we were in the league. We certainly didn't have a better squad than half of the teams that finished below us. But the confidence of the side and the belief in what we were doing, the togetherness, the plan, the structure of what we were doing was there. And I thought Charlton today, well, they're not world beaters, don't get me wrong, but I think you have to credit Charlton with how they came and played today. They weren't amazing in terms of a side, but what I thought they were was incredibly well organised, really compact as a side. I thought we struggled massively to break them down. And that's, yes, it's a slight on us because I think we need to be better. But I think it's a credit to Charlton because you look at the transitional play, and it sound at the risk of sounding a bit Ruben Sayers, but you look at the transitions from when we nicked the ball off them. The only chances we had in on goal was where we'd nick it high up. Because if we nicked it in our half, or it wasted a chance, or it went out for a throw, or it went out for a goal kick, whatever it might be, and we recycle the ball and we go again, Charlton were already in position. There are several attacks that I noticed that they had every man in the box at one stage to defend the box. So they were defending with their lives today. And they were very well organised. And I don't know if we've got that same discipline, certainly defensively, but I don't think defensively is the main issue for us, although we did get caught a couple of times too high up. I think going backwards, it sometimes can catch us out, but I think it's going forwards that is my concern. It's getting the balance right in the squad. It's getting confidence up. How Chris Wilder's got a hell of a job on his hands now, because how do you pick them up after that? How do you make them believe that they are able to fight at the top of the table? And what we have to do now is not think about where we can end up at the end of the season. It should be what it always has been for Wilder and other teams in these sort of positions. It's the next game. Win the next game. Get ourselves off the mark. Get some momentum behind us. Get some confidence built. Because at the minute, it's 6 games, 6 losses. And if we don't turn this around soon, we are going to get dragged into a dogfight. This division is unforgiving. We cannot take anything for granted. And I don't think... Well, I don't know. I was going to say I don't think the fans or the players or the manager particularly does. But did we? Did we a little bit? As a fan base as a whole? I mean, you as individuals may have always been cautious about it. But I know from feeling the vibes about from the comments that come in, from the chatter in our groups, from the way I was feeling, Chris Wilder's going to come in and turn this around like that. It's going to be... The season starts today. We are off and running. And you slightly, disrespectfully, look past Charlton a little bit and you think, well, we'll beat Charlton and we'll get back because it's an ideal fixture for us. Well, is it? Is it an ideal fixture for us? Or is that everything that they are about in terms of wanting to come and spoil the party? And wanting to... Does that write their team talk for them as well? And if they can hold us off a little bit, which they did, and sort of keep us at an arm's length and then slow it down and frustrate the crowd and make the referee have some tough decisions. They did a great job. They came and did a job on us today. And it's nothing against Charlton at all. I'm just gutted, really. I'm gutted that we couldn't get off with a win with Wilder's return, because I think it makes the job a lot tougher for him now. A lot tougher. I don't know. I'm going to get in some comments first, and then we'll bring our first caller on because there's people patiently waiting. But LA Blade says, "Evening, Jimmy. Congrats on getting the better of the South Barnsley fan in that Sun fans debate. 2-0, and they flipped it up. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles, like and subscribe. It's unfortunate, LA Blades. Thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. It's unfortunate that you posted that at 2:30 this afternoon, before we kicked off and before they kicked off. And it's been a Sheffield double today, hasn't it? The likes of which we can't stand. So, yeah, they've had the last laugh today, haven't they? And you've got to take these on chin. And I think these sort of results and the roller coaster that is supporting Sheffield United, we have to take these on. We've had, and again, me and my dad were talking about this in car on the way home. In the last 10 years, we've ridden a wave of wins, other than when we've been in the Premier League, and one of those seasons were brilliant as well. But other than the Premier League years, we have ridden a brilliant wave of mostly winning. And I wonder if it makes you subconsciously entitled a little bit. And I don't mean that we're an entitled fan base. I just mean, do we think we should be something when really it's beat what's in front of you? It should always be beat what's in front of you. And maybe this is the reality check that some of the fans needed and even some of the players needed. I don't know. S17 says, this squad is absolutely rotten. Kiss promotion goodbye. Relegation is a real possibility this year. Club's a joke. That was directly after full time that S17 put this. So I don't know whether he's calmed down. We'll have to wait and see. 85 minutes of promise and hope, then 10 minutes car crash, says Skyblit. Were it 85 minutes of promise? I'm not convinced. I think we were better. But the bar is here. Say this is a good performance. We have been here. In fact, you can't even see it. For those that are listening on audio platforms, my hand is below the screen. Today's performance was still well below where we want to be in terms of performances. Well below. Just because it was better than Sayers doesn't mean it was good or even promising. Not to me anyway. I like to be try and be positive, Skyblade, but whenever I'll always be honest with you. Always be honest. Apart from the last 10 minutes, the defence and midfield were much better, but attack is non-existent. Again, I'm not sure. Wilder has a massive job now. Moore's gone with no replacement. I agree with the Kiefer Moore thing in terms of we will miss him more than people give him credit for. But again, I'm split on that because, again, it's something me and my dad talked about, to be honest, that we rated Kiefer Moore as a player. But by the same token, I'm not going to go back on what I've said. We couldn't turn that deal down. £2 million for our third choice striker at the time. We're looking at an option now. You know, who's an option off the bench? It'd be nice to bring Kiefer Moore in instead of Tom Cannon when Tom Cannon's so low in confidence. But we've got Danny Ings instead. And that were another thing my dad said. We need to we need to call the pension brigade, as he called it. That's ironic, isn't it? He'd parachute Danny Ings in as soon as possible. Ben Mee as soon as possible. Because he thinks we need that experience, those leaders, that cool heads, people who've been there, done it. And I agree with him. I agree completely with that. S17 says 85 minutes of promise. Don't think so. One shot on target all game at home. Very poor. You can't argue with that. I agree with that. No Good at Golf says could only catch the last 20 minutes, but seemed as bad as before. Players poor all over the pitch. People still talking about promotion. I'm more worried about staying up. Clip this if you want. We will not get relegated. I'll be absolutely blown away if we get relegated. The concern for me is that this season fizzles out. We continue this very, very poor run. I think it'll change soon because I think Chris Wilder is the right man to turn it around. No, that don't waver after one game. But if the season fizzles out and we end up in mid-table obscurity and don't make the playoffs, that's it. That's it in terms of any advantage, on-field advantage that we have. Yes, we've got a really strong fan base that will keep coming. There'll still be 24,000, 25,000 at Bramall Lane next season, no matter what division we're in, Championship or Prem. So there will be a core that will take a while to fade, I would say. But we'll lose some big hitters and we won't be able to replace them. Hamer will go, Cooper will go, Burrows, Peck, maybe Arblaster if he's come back and showed he can get back in the rhythm. And then we're into Middlesbrough territory, Stoke, Bristol City, Swansea, teams that will again be on a level with us, rather than at the moment we've got a slight advantage with parachute payments. So that's my concern, that we don't take full advantage of the parachute payments this season. It's just been a terrible own goal from the ownership, hasn't it, unfortunately. Soren says, hope you're fine, Jimbo. Still hope we meet you in the Premier League next year, marching on together. Thank you, Soren, and thank you for the confidence. Just get me out of the relegation zone to start with. Chirac says, this is what happens when you spend 3 out of 5 years in the Prem and fail to level up. Oh, you love it, don't you? I told you back then, Jimmy lad, but you couldn't see it. You even helped enable our current situation. You never called it out. Bore off, Chirac. Bore off, pal. Beast Boy says, as soon as Cannon comes on, we look toothless. Barry is woeful. I thought Barry were poor today. Callum O'Hare needs to get released. Wow. Doesn't do anything but run. Can't finish to save his life. For me, it weren't as soon as Cannon came on. I thought we looked toothless all game. And I know you've got a big problem with Cannon, Beast Boy, and you're not the only one, to be honest. There'll be a lot of people that do. And I've defended him, and I still want to see more out of it. Obviously, everybody does, but I still think there is more to come from him. I'm just... It's been very disappointing, I have to say. More chance of relegation than playoffs, says Jason. Sarah says, we got unlucky today. It should have been 2-0. A lot of positives, but the defence needs work, mainly not passing back to the keeper all the time. Should have been 2-0. I'm not convinced it should have been 2-0. No, I don't think we deserve to win today, I'll be honest. I would love to sit here and say differently. And I didn't think I'd be sitting here today and saying this, but it's a reality check, and we have to recognise that we're banging trouble at the minute in terms of our run of form. As I say, I don't think it'll end up in relegation. Okay, I'm not going to read Chirac's stuff, because I don't know why it's my fault that Sheffield United are where they are, because I didn't call it out at the time. I love how some blades are more than happy for us to fail so they can say they were right, which is, and it's not some blades, it's one or two, isn't it? We all know they are. It can't get any worse under Wilder, says Chip Butty. It can. What a pathetic performance. No plan, no creativity. We look lost. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do, and that's fair to say. George says, don't think anyone can turn this around now. Players just look lost up front and have no idea what they're doing. It's painful to watch. Would rather rub salt in my eyes. But the good thing about it is there's so many games to go. This will turn. Undoubtedly, it will turn. There's no danger or worry in my mind about that. It's just, how long does it go on for? It could change at Oxford. Charlton were an ideal opportunity. Charlton at home, a recently promoted side. They've come and done a job on us today, and they deserve to get something from the game. I think it's harsh that they've run away with all 3 points, but they certainly deserve something. I thought they were very well organised. Michael says, no more BS about making the playoffs. We are in a relegation battle from now on. We totally lack creativity and goals. We're going to need grit and togetherness for survival. We can do it. Deb says, hi Jimmy, don't be too disheartened, because win, lose or draw, we'll always come back for more. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Let's get Jimmy to 10k. Thank you, Debs. Appreciate it. Alessandro says, confidence is hard to repair, but CW's the right guy to do that. Gutted he couldn't get the ball rolling today. Shame to lose like that, but we could have all predicted how Charlton would play. Hopefully we see a change of shape, change in personnel, and a bit of luck to go our way versus Oxford and just win somehow. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Beardman says, who put 20p in Chirac? I know he's back because he loves to have a dig at Chris Wilder. And to be honest, he was on the last stream saying he was against Chris Wilder's appointment initially, but he now recognises he's exactly what we need to get us on the right track again. I don't know why Chirac didn't call it out. I don't know why he didn't. It's a disgrace. He's the reason. Chirac's the reason we're in this mess. Ridiculous take from a ridiculous man. Shape up much better. Shape looks much better, says Anglo-Saxon. Needed to take the chances in the first half to get the confidence up. Overplaying a bit in the final third and conceded a lot of fouls from corners, which is an issue. Oxford is a must-win now, though. I wouldn't say overplaying. I'd say we don't create. We mess about with it because we're not creative enough. We're not able to break teams down, and that's a real concern. A real concern. Tom says Tanganga and Chong were bright sparks in an otherwise poor performance. Chong, you thought Chong did all right? See, this is where the beauty of having different opinions on the game. I thought Chong came on and had a couple of really dodgy touches. Gave possession away a couple of times. That were my interpretation of it, Tom. Not saying you're wrong, it's an opinion, but Thought Cooper had a poor game too. Very deflated, but I'll come back for more. Up the blades, up the road. I think Cooper's getting aimed at for his part that he played in the goal. I thought he played well, Cooper. I thought he looked steady all game, and I'd have to watch the goal back, which I haven't seen again. But I think it's harsh. Nick Cook says, far too slow with the ball. When we counter, we hold up play and we have to try and score through 11 bodies. Absolutely bang on. When other teams counter, they charge and only have like 3 defenders to deal with. Well said. Mark says, say us in. Have to laugh because that was fairly awful. Jack says, well then, the more we played, the worse it got. 35 minutes we controlled the game, pressured them, but the final decision we were awful. Ogbenny burst into the box and passed back. Luke says, no saving us. We're in a relegation battle. Players need to take 100% responsibility as they have been a disgrace and we shouldn't give them sympathy. I agree. I think we've let the players off a little bit, and then they've not come and done the business, have they, today when they were given the license to do so. And look, if it carries on, then Wilder will start to take some of this responsibility too. But I think the players have to look at themselves now and sort of reflect on their own performances. It's just so disappointing. Right. Should we get our first caller in? He's been waiting very patiently. So let's bring him in. It is now. This will be a test. The positive blade. Brett, how's it going, pal?
Yeah, positive.
Are you positive, mate?
Yeah, but not positive from match. Positive that it'll get better.
Okay, so what do you take from game today, then, pal?
Well, we're better than under Sayers. That's first thing. I won't say we were fantastic, and to be honest, everything you've said earlier, I've agreed. So, like, we were better defensively. We just looked lost sometimes attacking.
I don't think we've any creativity at the moment in the final third. I think we're really struggling to break teams down.
It's like Jackson in comments earlier. It's like the thing I was looking forward to seeing Ogbenny play. And every time we got ball, he dashed down, he was flying through, and then he'd cut back. And then wait for Charlton to get back, all defenders. And then you're basically playing it through a big defence again.
Yeah, I thought with Ogbenny joining the ranks, we'd have a little bit of pace on the break. And when that changes, then we can release and like Nick says, not have to go through 11 players and play around everybody. If you let Charlton, like we did today, you let Charlton get back into position, they were so compact and really they just flooded the middle of the field, and there were no way we could get through. And that's because we weren't turning them round quickly enough. We were too slow in our build up, and we couldn't then move them around and break them down. So I was really disappointed today. It's knocked wind out of my sails a little bit, pal, to be honest.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, and you do feel a bit daft, really, and a little bit, or I certainly do, a bit not disrespectful to Charlton, because I never looked directly past them. Yeah. But we should be beating Charlton. We should be beating most teams based on the performances last season and the players that we've got available. We should have enough to beat most teams, or certainly give them a really good game. And today, I still don't think we're anywhere near the levels that we need to be. I think we've sort of got caught up with Chrissy Wilder coming back and thought it's right. Well, he'll sprinkle his magic dust on it, and we'll be back to the side that we were last season. Well, they've been damaged clearly from the start, and it's going to take some fixing by it looks, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like I say, Wilder's never going to come in with a magic wand. It's always going to take time. And like you say, I did hope that it were going to come in and it were going to be one game and would be start off straight away. But at the start of the game, like I said to my dad, I just want us improved performance-wise. And there were little improvements. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we were amazing. We didn't blow them away. I don't think we deserved to lose. I think a draw would have been a fair result. We were a better team at first half. Second half, we dropped off.
Yeah.
But again, we were solid. We were solid at back. It's just we didn't rarely look threatening when we had ball. We didn't look like we'd attack. And like I said, to Charlton's credit, they were just that compact and got everyone back that we couldn't play through them. So
yeah, they were really well organised, I thought, today. And I don't, I'm not the biggest fan of Nathan Jones, but he certainly knows how to make his team scrappy and survival specialists, if you like. So I thought, fair play to him.
yeah.
And you've heard about. I don't want to give you any names to, not critique. That's the wrong word, but I don't want to give you any names. But you have heard what I've had to say about my thoughts on certain performances. But were there any players that stood out to you in either as a concern or as a bit of a shining light? Any comments on any individual performances?
To be honest, one of the main things I agreed with you with, because when I was reading chat on way back, and some people were telling me that Chong played well. But when I watched it, I thought, like you say, every time ball come to him, it sort of bobbled off his shins, or he were like, at one point, he had ball and he was just doing circles in the centre spot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think it won't come, but I couldn't say that he had a good game.
I was surprised. I wasn't surprised, but he brought Ogbeni off and put Barry on the right, and he brought O'Hare off and put Chong in the 10 and kept Hamer on the left. I would have liked to have seen Hamer at that point, Hamer in the 10, Chong on the right because he's left-footed, so he can cut Barry in like we've been doing, and Barry on the left. That's what I would have preferred. I don't understand why like two of them were playing out of position. Even if you think Hamer's better on the left, two of them were definitely out of position to what they're normally used to. So anyway, that's just the same.
Like I said, I was saying to my dad and my brother-in-law when they come on, and I'm like, oh well, Chong must be going on to right wing, and my dad's like, no, he's playing 10. I'm like, well, don't be silly. He'll be playing right because Barry will be playing left. And I mean,
Chong's played always behind the striker. He's played different positions behind the striker. So it's not alien to see him in the 10. I think it would have been more impactful for Chong to be on the right, Barry on the left, and Gus in the 10. But again, that's a minor point, but it may have changed things. So you never know. We'll never know now, will we? But
it just looks confidence, doesn't it? I think that's the only thing. When I say we're lost when we got ball forward, nobody looks like they want to have a shot. Like
no.
It seemed to pass back, and then every time I think did Tanganga have a shot from outside box? Sariki had a shot from outside box.
Yeah.
Peck had one had one bobbled out, and as soon as it come to him, I said to my dad, "This is going nowhere to go." And I was praying for him to score. But
my dad swore loudly in family stand when Peck hit that. Yeah. Keep the flipper down. In family stand, we're like, "Come on, father, what's going off here?"
Oh, it's like
pardon my French.
He said. He was going mad. He was like, there was a woman that sat outside and she's going, when are we ever going to score? And my dad, come on, Barry, come on. And my dad's going, Barry will score. Nah. And then every time he got a ball, he just like bobbled off his feet or something. And my dad's going, it's rubbish. I don't know why we're playing.
Oh, mate. I know. It were poor from Barry, I thought, today, unfortunately. But look, nobody covered themselves in glory today. But
no.
Anything you would do to change things, pal, before next game?
No, it's said harsh. You could always, like I said, the main thing is you could always go back to a back five, innit? But you don't want to be relying on that if that's not what system that we want to be playing. So,
I think it suits us, but I don't think he does. I don't think Wilder thinks that. He said on Praise the Grumble afterwards, he was saying that's Gus's position and that's where I'm going to play him because that's where I feel he's best. Well, you can't play him there if you play a 3-5-2. So he's going to stick with a 4-2-3-1, whatever happens, I think.
Yeah, and like that, in the thing where like I was arguing this to a Wednesday fan who were on about it, and they said I go back to a back five. I said, well, I thought you wanted to attack, and I said, ironically, Sheffield United are more attacking with a back five because we have the wing backs going forward, and they seem to give us a lot more attacking threat.
Yeah, I agree. But one of the centre backs previously would join the attack anyway, wouldn't he? So that's how we did it. So.
Yeah. But even even if we don't send them forward like centre backs and just have the wing backs, I think we get down a lot more success down wings when we've got a winger and a wing back. Do you know what I mean? Like overlapping, even if they're not completely wide.
Yeah.
So you could still have Armour on left of that kind of midfield and let him drift a bit, but it's a bit hard because if you give Arm a license to drift all over, it tends to bring it back.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
You're just to our penalty area. So.
That's true. That's true. Right, mate, I'll let you go. Anything else you want to cover just before I let you go?
No, mate, let's say just have to be positive. It will come in time. Yeah, we're all going to be a bit depressed and a bit down, but you give Wilder more than one match, he'll get it right. Just get some confidence into lads and he'll sort it.
Love that, mate. Thank you for that. Speak to you soon, Brett.
Bye. See you later.
Cheers, buddy. See you later. Nice one, Brett. Always positive, and I have to admire that positivity because I'm not feeling it at the moment. I wish I was. I really wish I was, but I have to rely on mates like Brett who will help us out and give us a more positive spin on things. So that's where we are at the minute. Right, those comments were next. Tom says games like all of last season, but we scraped a result. I can count on one hand when we played well last season. I can't count. I assume you mean you can count on one hand the amount of times we played well last season. This is the reality from this bunch. I'd say taxi for a few players. I'd need a bus. My dad was saying he'd consider a bit of a clear out of this. And again, a lot of things are said in frustration out there, but TD says, as bad as it can get, players need to take responsibility now. No big man up front, says Al. Great reaction, no points. I know. Kev says, hi Jimmy, we need 2 up front, especially at home. I won't be against it. I didn't know whether he'd do that today. You know, with when he brought O'Hare off, I didn't know whether we were going to bring Cannon on and just go with 2 up top rather than a 10. Obviously chose to stick with the formation. Well, that wasn't the bounce I expected, says Will. Yeah, me too. James says, Tom, I agree completely, which is why I was never at Wilder's biggest fan. Winning covered up the cracks of poor performances last season, and the signs of overperforming were there for all to see. James says, Sayers sacked is what the fans wanted. Wilder back is what the fans wanted. The players have gotten away with it for me. They need to step it up. Was better today, but Wilder has a massive job on his hands. Yeah, that's fair. Richard says, today was really poor. Players looked shot to bits. So unorganised at the back. Godfrey looked all over the place. No real creativity. Campbell looks completely lost. Movement off the ball is shocking. I agree with that. Movement off the ball is pretty poor. Campbell was quite static. My dad's watching him today and he's saying, look, he's not moving. He's staying in the middle and he's drowned. Like there's no easy route to him. Before, last season, you'd see him pulling wide and showing for the ball. He wasn't doing that today, which is a concern. Is that the same Ty Campbell up front as last season, says Will. There you go. Huge mistake not replacing Kiefer. Very limited options up front, says PJ. John says Chris has got his work cut out. He certainly has. Dino says we're in a relegation battle at this moment. It weren't much better. Ignore the fact we're in this position, and it'll get you up the blades. Yeah, we've got to be. Yeah, we are. We have to recognise where we are. John says really lucky not to lose 4-0 against a really poor side. Nothing up front, frightening at the back again. I don't think we were lucky to not lose 4. I didn't think they really troubled us that much. I thought back end at first half they did, and obviously back end at second. But yeah, I don't think it were anywhere near 4. But I don't think we were good enough to win either, John, to be fair. Luke says, what is Louis Barry? Seriously, I need to know. Eric says, without a doubt, we're in a relegation fight. The squad is weak, especially up front. Should be playing 2 up top, says John. Yes, Joe says, hi Jim, what's your thoughts on the signings being made so late that some look a yard off it at the minute? We can't expect new signings to hit the ground running. The first phase of the signing looked miles off. I think we panicked in the window, and I think we got players in for the level rather than for 3 years in the future and what value ceiling they could get us. And I think that was the right call, but I think it was made late. I'm pleased we did it. I'm pleased we course corrected and got the players in, because I think in the long term it will benefit us and we'll be okay this season because of it. But we want to be more than okay. We don't just want to be all right and safe. That's not where Sheffield United should be aiming this season. We have an advantage financially and in terms of ability in the squad at the moment because of where we've earned it on the pitch. I understand that, but we have to maintain that advantage. And if we don't get up this season, we have every chance of falling away. Every chance of falling away next season and becoming that mediocre championship team that we were some years ago. And it's not a nice prospect, is it? TD says, 2 up top now, surely. 1 up top for us doesn't work at all. Passenger all game, Campbell was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when Chris Wilder first came to the club, he said, we're a side that gets it down the wings quickly and with 2 up top. I'm pretty sure he was quoted in an interview as saying that. Obviously, times change and he's changing methods to meet modern day football. I understand that. But I would like to see 2 up top. Well, yeah, get Danny Ings in this side. I know he's not fit at the minute, so it wasn't an actual possibility. But Bertie Blade says, no way was that a better performance. I thought it was. I thought it were better. Gage says, hold up, how can we comment on Tyrese Campbell when he's not had a decent ball of fruit to him the whole game? I think he's got to... You can't just stand there and wait for the ball to be passed to you. I think he's got to do his bit as well. I don't think the service has been great to him, but how long do you leave it before you bring him into the conversation as well as the players behind him? Because I don't think he's done much either. So I think it's fair to point the finger at everybody. By the same token, you could say, why is everyone having a pop at Cooper when he's made the most saves in the league? Because he keeps getting peppered because we've been so poor this season. And then the odd mistake that he gets, he's told he's poor, but you forget about all the saves that he's made. He's made more saves than any other goalkeeper this season because of how bad we are as a side. I think you have to make everybody accountable. Every player on the field has to be accountable for the performances. You can't say Ty Campbell gets a free pass because the service has been poor. What is he doing to make himself available for the service as well? It's not all about, get the ball to Ty Campbell and watch him cook, as the kids say, apparently. Because it's not, he hasn't been, has he? Wayne says, let's be honest, we were lucky last season and the players that have been brought in are bang average. I just can't see where we get a point, never mind a win, and I include the Pigs. I disagree. I think there's a little bit of an overreaction. Understandably so. But of course we're going to get a point. Of course we're going to get a win. They won today away at Portsmouth. And they are one of the worst sides the level's seen. And I think they would tell you that as well themselves because they know the situation they're in. It's just tough to take, innit, when we thought we were going to get a bounce today. Ben says, goals win games. We've got very little up front. Agreed. Anyone know where Ings is? I fear we could be in real trouble here. He's injured, pal. He's injured from what I understand. Don't know how long for. Hopefully not long. CB says, John B in the house. Fancy seeing you here. Cyrus says, the Blades fell asleep at the wheel around 80 minutes and when we got the free kick and it only went downhill from there. Can anybody explain to me why when Kaminski has the ball in his hands at like 91 minutes and Tom Cannon's pressing him and he's waiting for him to get rid of it and try and make him hold on to it for 6 seconds, 8 seconds, whatever it is, why the ref blows and makes Kaminski put it on the floor as if it were a free kick and Cannon has to step back and resets the play. And that's what eventually leads to their goal. I'm not saying that's why we lost, but I didn't understand the decision as to why Kaminski wasn't allowed to be pressed by Cannon to kick the ball out of his hands because it seemed like a fair passage of play. The only thing I can think is, had Cannon been in an offside position? I'm not sure. It were a really strange one for me. I didn't understand it. Maybe our next... In fact, let's get that on. Maybe our next caller can elaborate on that for me. I was on Ramble FC with him last night watching the Borough and West Brom game. It is my mate, the man in black. Gaz Dunn. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. Where are you, by the way?
So I'm at my brother's at the moment.
All right. I did wonder because you've come up, haven't you? It's a 3.5 hour drive for you without stops. And then I saw you at Triple Point today. I know you were at the game. We had a chat pre-match. We walked down to the ground together. And then I put on 90 after 90, 2 hours after the final whistle. and you're there waiting to call in, like looking like you're at home. So like, wow, okay, that is crazy. So
yeah, I don't get a personalised helicopter on. So.
I mean, no, not this time. So, Gaz, before you get into your thoughts on the game, did you hear me asking that question about the last? What was that about? Because I know you're asking loads of refereeing questions. You were asked a load of referee questions yesterday, but what was that about? That passage of play?
Well, because the referee started his 8-second count, and that for the keeper having the ball in his hands. If the keeper's pressurised or prevented from releasing that ball, it's an indirect free kick, and that's why. Yeah. And that's why. So the referees obviously believed that Cannon's has put too much pressure on him, and he started the count, so he's preventing him releasing it. So then it's an indirect free kick. That's part of the new law change for this season. Why
is it not legal to press a goal? It's always been legal to press the goalkeeper to try and make him release it quickly.
Yeah, so that's the new rule change. If you're pressurising the goalkeeper, and that's what the referees obviously believed, then indirect free kick.
Okay, mate. So 7-hour round trip for you. All in all, it'll be when you get yourselves back home. Would it worth it?
Yeah, it's got to be worth it. It's always worth it to watch the Blades.
Good lad.
I'll always admit that. I thought first 35 minutes, I was quite content, and I thought the first 35 minutes we were the better side of the two. I thought they started to come back into the game in the last 10 minutes of the first half and had a couple of chances. And then I thought second half we were diabolical. I thought we were poor, too slow, no player movement. If I go for it, I think Cooper's had a good game. I don't think Cooper can do anything about the goal. The way it comes across, he's got a defender in front of him as well. I don't think Cooper can do anything about the goal. I thought Burrows was okay. I thought Godfrey struggled. I thought he was all right for the first 25 minutes, but even then, I thought he started to get a bit lost, and it was like he was struggling. Yeah, I thought he was struggling to know when to go forward, when to come back. I thought he struggled. I thought the two centre halves. I thought McGuinness first half was brilliant. He won every header. He was winning everything. I thought McGuinness first half was probably one of our better players. Tanganga's Tanganga, as we say.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't agree with this two holding midfielders. I can't get my head around it. I really can't. We want to go forward, and we're playing Matos and Peck. I think Peck slows the game down too much, in my opinion. I think there's times where it comes into him and there's that play to get that ball out wide, and he's just delaying it. So yeah, I felt for him today. I'm still on to Samari. Me, I've said it a few times.
My dad said to him he'd rather see Samari in there than either of those two.
Yeah, I want him in the side. I thought Ben did. I think he did okay. He's just no left foot.
Yeah,
a couple of times where he's cutting time. I'm like, all right, try and bend it in. Try and have a shot, get a shot away. I thought Campbell, he was just too. He's out of confidence. I thought he's too static. I thought, especially the last 15 minutes of him being on the field of play, he was very much 10 yards too deep.
Yeah,
I'm like, get on that last man, try and turn the defender.
That's where he's best. On the shoulder of the last man is where he is most deadly, and he's not been doing it. He's not been doing it. We haven't got him the service, and that's a fair criticism, but he isn't in the positions to argue that point. I don't think.
Nobody's trying to turn their defence. It's like the amount of times there's a pass to put into the channel, or a pass where you can just try and feed it in. Just play the areas.
Yeah,
play the areas sometimes. If it's not going right, play the area and see what happens. I thought Heyman was drifting in and out. I won't even talk about his caution. I think everyone can.
Yeah.
Even I sent you a message. I'm like,
you did, mate. I won't share. Don't worry.
Yeah, freaking jeez.
Because you do your best to stick up for refs, don't
you? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And that's right, and you should, and I appreciate your stance on it, but yeah, I thought there were a couple of disappointing calls today. I think that's probably fair. What do you think to Callum O'Hare? He's coming for a bit of stick from some people.
Yeah, he works hard. He does. You can't get wrong. I don't think he would. I think you need the triangle up there. I think if you play O'Hare in a 10, I think he needs two attackers and work triangles, because I think he moves the ball. He can move the ball quick. He's got the ability to do that, but I think he gets lost a lot of the game and does a lot of legwork. I bet his yardage and his mileage is really good.
Yeah, but he chases, doesn't he? He chases down.
Yeah,
he's never really proactive. Yeah, it's reactive as opposed to proactive, I think.
We're too slow. We'll like get it out wide, then we'll come back, and then we'll go across. And when we move it quick, was our better play. And I know that's easy to say and everything. Naturally, if you move it quick, then you're going to open sides up. But we didn't. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we. Even now, I don't think we deserve to lose. I really don't. They had a couple of. Cooper makes a good save.
Yeah,
Yes,
really good save.
But other than that, they didn't trouble us. But I think we had that shot by Hamer, which was our only shot on target. I think 2 or 3 minutes into the second half, we should score. I think Campbell should score, and I think it was Campbell, weren't it? And then it breaks out to Peck, and then Peck does a Peck and slide it over the bar. I feel for him, I really do. But I think other than them 2 chances, we didn't create anything at all the whole game. And I think we need to be quick in transitions. I think it will get better. Wilder's had 5 days with him, and that he's come in. He's trying to change philosophy. He's trying to change the way we play compared to what Sayers wanted to play. It takes time. I get that, but I'll be honest with you. Oxford next week is a must not lose. A must not lose. They're second to bottom. We cannot be losing to Oxford next week, because then we struggle. We're already 5 points off safety already, and I think somebody said to me today, realistically, where do you think we finish? And I said top 10. I goes, look, top 10, but I'm hoping for top 6. But after today, not after today so much, but if that happens again next week and we end up losing to Oxford, I think I agree. I think we're in a dogfight. No, I really do, because player confidence is down. And I've not listened to Wilder's post match yet, but if he's saying Hamer's best out left and that's where he's going to play him, then that means he's not going to play 2 up front. I don't know. I don't want him doing a Man U manager. I don't even care what the Pope says. I'm not changing my formation.
It seems like he's stuck on the formation, doesn't it? Because a lot are saying 3 at the back as well. So
and I think with the centre halves we've got, I think we line up. I think we'd be solid. We're a back 3.
I agree.
I thought Sariki was poor when he came on today, by the way. I thought Chong was poor when he came on. I thought Cannon was poor when he came on.
Agreed.
And don't get me wrong, I think it's hard to come in when 70-odd minutes, we've just had, let's be honest, really poor 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So to come in and then perform and turn a game is hard. But yeah, I thought they were poor. But yeah, well, I'm always optimistic. I always am. I think.
How does he change it, mate, at Oxford? What does he do?
I think he put Samari in first. Let's drop either Peck or Matto, and let's just change that up. Let's see if Samari can move that ball a bit quicker from them sort of periods of picking up in the back and raking it through. I think speak to Hamer and Agban and pronounce that right, I think, and get him Benny, get him to take players on. And don't be afraid to hit. I prefer somebody to shoot from the edge of the area, the left foot, and try and curl it in, and it misses, than to not try it
all. Turn back into a blind alley. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
In fact, you've put that perfect, Jimmy. The amount of times that happened today is unreal.
I know.
Absolutely unreal. It happened so many times. I think just take players on, and don't be afraid to try and slide that ball through. You need somebody on that last man. I think that's where it all starts from as well, because if you haven't got the players trying to turn them defenders or be on the last man's shoulder or anything like that, then the Pecks and that in the middle, they haven't got that ball to play. They can only go left and right.
Yeah,
because they've got no one to pass to. It's like when O'Hare, especially in the first half, came deeper to get the ball around the sides and had space to turn and that. That's brilliant. But then we've got to have the runners off the ball then. I don't think Burrows got forward much today, to be honest with you. I might be wrong.
No.
Something in my head tells me he didn't get forward much.
No, he didn't as much.
But you need them options going forward, and I really don't think we had that today. And I think it might be just a confidence thing. The team's not changed that much. I think our biggest loss is Sousa, 100 billion%. That's the biggest loss we've had in this team. I think Anel we've replaced, to be honest with you, but we haven't replaced Sousa. So, and I think that's our biggest thing. But that's the only change. I think, so we put in the comments, oh, we loads of bad performances, and we got a bit lucky. Bad performances were overdone by wins. We got 92 points. Come on.
Yeah. You don't
get 92 points by bluffing it, do you?
No, you don't luck your way to 92 points.
No. So it's not changed that much. Yes, we've lost Sousa. Other than that, it's a pretty much same team. I think obeying it. I keep saying his name wrong. Right winger. Yeah, I'll get this right eventually. I think he's better than Saki last season. Hamer's still there. O'Hare's still there. Campbell's still there. We've got Blaster to come back. Let's remember that. One of the best midfield players last season, before he got injured last season in the centre of the park. In 2 months' time, if he picks up the game really quick and gets back up to speed, he's back. That'll be a massive, massive thing. And I think, yes, even if we play 4-4-2 at the back or 5 at the back, I think we've got a solid foundation there. I think we've got good centre halves now. I really do. I think the right back's a bit of an issue because I don't know if Godfrey can do it. I really don't. But other than that, there's not much difference. It's just a bit of confidence. So,
okay, Gaz,
hopefully,
thank you so much, pal. Really appreciate it. I'm getting comments drop off the top, you see now, because I'm not getting to them in time. But I appreciate you joining in, pal, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, quality shirt. Yeah, snap.
All right, buddy. See you soon.
See you later,
Cheers,
pal. Take care.
Ta-ra, mate. Cheers. Top man. Cheers, Gaz. As always, top bloke. Right, let's get some of these comments before they drop off. Offensively, that was exactly the same as when Sayers was here. Defensively, slightly better, but not great, says James. John says, we saw the best of a few of our players, and it might never happen again for many of them. Let's be honest, we have a poor team, and that's now in a relegation battle. Wilder has his toughest job thus far. Ron says, need 2 up front, 1 centre-forward on his own. He's not good. Also, right back is an issue. What does Tom Cannon give? You're not the only one asking that question, to be honest. Make no mistake, Wilder's job is to keep us up, says PJ. Tony says, don't your owners have to take 90% of the blame for your situation? Feel for you lads, up the clarets. Yeah, they do. They do. Owners definitely have to take their portion of the blame. Will says, I'm not sure I agree that it was better today. It was bad, but different. It was as bad, but different. Long way to go. Wouldn't trust any other manager to turn it around. Still, though, up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Rich says, no Wilder bounce, Jimmy, but it will come. No, there wasn't. I thought it was better, but nowhere near the level it needs to be. And he came on, the first thing he said, to Radio Sheffield was, a lot of work to do here. A lot of work. Those were his first words. And I don't think he's wrong at all. Don't judge Cannon on today. Campbell was just as bad and for longer, says GT. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Dave Bennett says we'll be fine. Saw enough today that we'll get 15 wins. Oh. Gaza says he's no day in Whitehouse in Hamer. No, he's not. That's fair. Hey up, Jimmy, says Andrew. To get the best out of Cannon, he needs to play alongside him with 2 up. He needs somebody to play alongside him with 2 up front. Lemmy says, I thought today's performance was better, but there's just too much passing in the final. Balls just weren't there. Just 1 shot on target again, toothless. I would rather have Ings come on than Cannon. I agree with you, pal, but Ings is injured, unfortunately, at the moment. I thought Peck was loads better today than last week, says Bright. I thought it was better than last week. Again, I think there's a lot more to come from City. Just because they were more involved, I don't think it necessarily meant it was a lot better. Cool King says, hey, Jim, regarding Campbell, maybe Sayers has concerns about him too and dropped him. O'Hare is like a fly, buzzes around but can't hurt you. I'm immune to the Wilder euphoria, but even I was expecting better. Thank you, mate. Pro Brad says, so disappointed. No idea up front. We need to play 2 up top. O'Hare offers nothing. Bertie says, Wilder has never been able to get strikers firing. Okay. 1 or 2 more defeats and you're up against it already, Jimmy, says Rich. Yeah, you're right. We're up against it already, pal. George says, mind the gap. Thank you, pal. Thanks for joining and subscribing to comment. Appreciate it. John says, we've seen the best of many of our squad. Oh, we've read that. I think you've posted it twice, pal. Joe says, Jimmy, I couldn't help but notice the amount of times we kept doing a long ball from Cooper. We don't have a natural outlet for that. And in today's weather, it was criminal. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair criticism. I don't like the short passes out to centre halves either. So I think you have to mix it up sometimes. But today, Cooper was just firing it long. And most of the time it ended up with our keeper, didn't it? So that was disappointing in terms of the delivery. But I don't think you can say he played poorly because of that, personally. I don't think you can dig him out. I think he saved us more than he gave away possession, if you like. Danny says, thing is with Tyres, if he'd been consistently playing like he did last season all his career, he wouldn't be a Sheffield United player. That's fair. Chris says, come on, Blades, it was a better performance for me. I think at times we need to be realistic. Everyone, including myself, expected a win today, but I think the performance was way better. Justin says, 100% agree with ATB. Peck is very average. Likes to tackle, but has no vision and can't shoot. The midfield is very weak with O'Hare in the 10, who can't create or shoot. Problems. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Mark Meldrew says, no difference at all today to previous. I'm starting to worry. I don't look like scoring at all. We have a decent individuals, but don't look like a team. Henry says, I'm genuinely amazed by what's happened to you. You were up there with us all season last year. At what point is this a relegation fight? If your second season championship, how do parachute payments affect FFP? Not sure how the FFP comes into it, to be honest, at this point. And we wouldn't have had to worry about it, but we may have to now next season. I think we're well below. I think we'll be okay. It's the final third we need to improve for me. Agreed, Chris. Completely agree. Chris says, even you can't sugarcoat this on Wilder, Jimmy, mate. Same formation, but same tactics. They worked harder, yes, but no chance tactically. Awful. Worry now, it's just like he did with Brewster. He will persist with Cannon because it was his star buy. It's not the case. And I think if Danny Ings had been fit, it would have been Danny Ings coming on personally. I might be wrong with that. We'll soon find out when Ings is fit again. But we'll wait and see. Let's have a look. In my opinion, we have to go 3-5-2, says Ben. Danny says, midfield's nowhere near it. Can't be playing in a top side without aspirations and not even have the ability to get on target, let alone score. Wilder said it himself, says Mark Meldrew. Mark Meldrew says Wilder said it himself. Loads of work to do. It's a huge job, this. Completely agree. Gage says, why does no one mention the tactics? They were terrible all last season and they're going to be terrible again. I didn't see a plan today in terms of how I thought we were too slow to build up. So that's your tactical sort of take in terms of, I know the formation. I didn't see really any patterns of play. I was looking for better individual performances. I thought we got a lift in individual performances, but nowhere near to the level that it should have been. Last season, the beauty of the internet is you're recorded everywhere. So for better or for worse, you'll always be there to be shot at. But when you've also called something out, it will also be there as evidence as well. I questioned the tactics on several occasions last season. I questioned the choice of Hamer on the left, which now looks ridiculous because it's been proven that he doesn't work in an 8. Still yet to be decided whether he works in a 10, but he certainly got the player of the season playing off the left, and a lot of us didn't think he should be. So Wilder knew best then. I think it's probably fair to say. I'm certainly happy to admit that. I think, again, we had a similar argument to what I would have had today. There didn't seem to be a clear plan. But do you know what wipes all of that out? You know, whether we're pretty on the eye, whether we dismantle teams tactically, whether we run over teams or just scrape by, everything is superseded by your points total. And we got 92 points last season. And if there hadn't been Burnley in the league, we'd be in the Premier League now. If there hadn't been Leeds in the league, we'd have been in the Premier League now. There was, and that's the reason we didn't get promoted, because there were 2 better teams than us. But we got 92 points. So how anybody can say that last season's tactics was terrible, it's winning tactics. It might not look the best. It might not be Pep Guardiola, who again is getting criticism himself now, ironically. But it might not be Klopp, if that's the one that we want to go back to. It's winning football. I don't think you can criticise his tactics unless you're being really, in terms of last season, because that's what you've mentioned, unless you're being really super critical and expecting this, when really we need to be realistic with what we're expecting. Chris says it also upsets me. Sat near dinosaurs who know nothing about football. 10 minutes in, and all I heard was, "Here we go again, playing backwards." I bet you bottom dollar they were calling for Sayers out and also Wilder out. Everybody's got an opinion, pal, and they're entitled to it. Slade says, "Looks shocking again. Sayers was not the whole problem. This team isn't good enough. We don't have a good goal scorer, and Peck looks like a League Two footballer." They were good enough last season, weren't they? A lot of them. Carl says, "I think we are too slow in the build-up." I agree with that. Feels like O'Hare's always looks to play backwards or cut back rather than driving towards. We give teams time to get into shape. Yes, we do. To be fair, nothing is falling for us in the box. We just need a fluke goal to go in from the backside, and the tide will turn, says Gaza. Did the goal go through Cooper's legs again? I don't know, to be honest. I'd have to see it back. But a lot of people blaming Cooper for the goal, and it looks harsh in real time to me because I've only seen it side on from in the ground. Let me get my next caller in anyway. Been waiting very patiently. It's one of our Platinum Ramblers, obviously. It is Lewis. How's it going, pal?
I'm good, mate. Can you see and hear me? I can't hear.
I can see and hear you. I can, mate, yes.
Good. The format's changed.
It has slightly, yeah. I have to look into that, but yeah, I'm aware.
No problem. As long as you can see me. What to make of that? I think.
What to make of it, mate?
Yeah, I think that the problem is the euphoria of Chris coming back. And everyone's a bit deflated, aren't they? It's like popping someone's bubble at this point. I mean, first of all, I've got to say I wasn't there. I've spoken to people that were. I checked in with Man Mountain's stream. I've listened to the audio. So I've tried to take it from different angles and kind of gather a feeling of what happened. It sounded a lot better in the first half. Yeah. And we just gradually dropped off. From there on in the second half, and I mean, it is what happens when a team's sort of bereft of confidence and is on a losing run. You know, they haven't got the belief that they can go and win a game, and that belief drops away late in games as well. So I think we need to be. It's difficult to keep calling for patience, isn't it, when you've lost six
on the spin? Yeah,
but. Yeah, it is. We've got to give. I mean, look, he's come in and new formation, new system. All right, not to some players. He's probably implemented a lot of his philosophies and approaches from when he was here a matter of 3-4 months ago. But to some of the players, it's new, and the players that were here before have gotten into a bad cycle with the manager that was in post in between. So it's a complicated situation. I think we just need to give it. I mean, I would agree with. I think Gaz mentioned it earlier. I caught a little bit of his comment about the next game because we're at Oxford away next, aren't we?
Yes, we are, mate. Yeah.
If we go down there, or if we don't, at the very least, come away with a good performance and a result of some description. Alarm bells start to ring then, not about Chris, but about the squad and the mentality and the ability. And because on paper, we look like we've got a great squad. We look like we've got a great bunch of players, a talented group of players at the very least. But yeah, they're not producing at the moment. I think they've got some mitigation because of Ruben. But you know, now when Chris has time to work with them, a proven manager that's been here twice and done it before, a lot of questions are going to be asked if it doesn't get turned around quickly. I think more of them than of him. He's got a lot of equity. He's got credit in the bank. Some of the players haven't. So we need a performance and a result next week, at least to come away with a point, bare minimum. I would say we need to go there and win to convince the vast majority that it's going to turn around.
I agree. What would you change, mate? What would you change about either the squad or the build-up, or would it be the formation? Would it be personnel? What would you do if you're Wilder tonight?
I would look not to panic and make too many changes. I think it needs tweaking. I think, for me, I would look at the new introductions, the potential variables. I know people have pointed at Peck. people have pointed at Ty Campbell, and I'm not saying that they're giving vintage performances at the moment. They're not. And their levels need to go back up to what they were. Same for Gus.
Yeah.
You know, same for Cooper. Probably kept us in the game once or twice today when we could have gone behind earlier. But I think you look at Matos coming in, Ogbene coming in. I would try and find ways to revert to type as much as possible at this point, because I just think when you're losing games of football and you're not playing well and things seem to be going against you, I think you need to try and look to what worked before, especially under a returning manager. Taking Peck out, taking Campbell out, changing Gus's natural position, which I do think, yes, I think he can play in the 10. I think he's good enough to play in the 10. I think he's good enough to play 2 or 3 positions. He's such a good player. I do think he was Championship Player of the Year last season from the left.
Yeah.
So I see no reason to change that.
Agreed.
I wouldn't change things that previously worked. I'd be looking at, right, is Matos giving us enough? I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm not picking on him. He might have played well. He might have played poorly. I don't know. I've got to watch the game. But I'd be looking at Matos. I'd be looking at not necessarily Tanganga. We've seen he's proved his ability. But players that come in, Godfrey, Matos, Ogbene. I'm not saying they've come in and they've made it worse, but let's try and look at what we can change that isn't proven. Peck played very well last season. Gus played very well last season. Ty did. Let's go with what we know and try and reinforce that at this stage, because what we need to do is try and turn the tide a little bit. Just get a result by whatever means necessary, even if it's ugly. Just get a win.
Okay.
And it will turn. That's my belief.
Mate, thank you for that. Thank you. Again, like Brett, always try and be positive. I really appreciate that, because I need it at times like this, and sometimes I rely on other people. I know I try and be positive myself, but again, I will never sort of try and spin a false positive or anything like that. So I sometimes need picking up myself. And today, it's like you said, it's knocked stuffing out of me a little bit. It's popped my balloon, as you said, but it's come Oxford, I'll be ready to go again, and a lot of us Blades will. It'll sting tonight and probably ruins the weekend for a lot of people. But we'll go again next week. We'll dust ourselves down and we'll be ready, and because that's what you do as a Blade, isn't it? So, anything else you want to cover, pal, before I let you go?
Just trust Chrissy Wilder and up the Blades.
Top man. Cheers, Lewis. Thanks, pal. See you soon. Ciao, mate. Bye. Top man. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate that, mate. Got a couple more callers patiently waiting to come on. I will get them on as soon as we can. Just tee one up now while I'm speaking to you. In fact, let's go straight into it. No messing about. It's the one, the only Dave Morwood. How's it going, pal? Oh, I can only see half your face.
How's that, man?
Yeah, that's better. How you doing, mate?
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it?
That's one word for it. That's one word for it.
Wilder out.
That's a joke for anybody that's like watching that thinks these fans have lost their heads. I thought it was quite funny that they were singing "Sacked in the Morning" to Chris Wilder.
I know, terrible, mate. It just, I thought the performance was a bit better.
I did.
But like everybody said, up front we look terrible.
Just a bit toothless for me.
Just like, can't believe that, like Callum and Gus and Ty just
aren't clicking, are they?
No.
No.
They clicked last year. But again, the confidence is rock bottom. So, that is, well, we all know that's a big part of football. We need to get the confidence up. And they can only get the confidence up with, like you said, having a lucky win. The ball hits Ty Campbell on the back of the head and goes in the net.
Yeah.
Or the goalkeeper tries to clear the ball, and as Ty's running away, he kicks it against him and it goes in the net.
Yeah. And
that one win will be the catalyst. We've got the right man for the job. That Wilder out, what a joke. We've got the right man for the job. What we are missing is that man, look.
Can't see him. Just to move to the side a bit. Yeah, we are.
That's the man we're missing.
Yeah, it
And,
is.
you know, you said that Samari was the man.
Don't play him.
We haven't seen him.
No, we haven't played him.
Yeah.
We saw him 2 minutes to go, didn't we? Today, we weren't going to change the game from defensive midfield, but
we desperately need a win, and I'm going to make a real good sacrifice here, man. I refuse to have a pasty until we win a game now.
What?
Yep.
Really? Oh, mate.
Yeah.
It's going to be as bad as that Man U fan with no haircut.
Well, somebody told me I needed to lose a bit of weight, so I had my haircut.
It looks well.
And got, got that on, but it was just,
What changes would you make going into Oxford then, Dave?
I'd put this guy up front. How about him? I don't know, mate. Honestly, I've looked at it and I've sort of thought, well, could we go 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 2 in the middle, tie up front, and Gus and Alan behind him?
Yeah.
Do it, see if we can get them 2. So
possibly,
we've got a little triangle up the front.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, that's going to leave open in the middle if we've just got Peck and, unless
Matos or Samari or whoever it might be.
Callum sort of tracks back a little bit. Don't want Gus tracking back too much.
No, that's true.
Give
That's
a penalty
very true.
away. But they just look. That's all I can think. They look bereft of confidence. And I put in the comments that I don't think we're going to win today. I think it's going to take longer for him to
I think it's a real smack of reality in face to us all, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and we've got to be, I know people have said it before, and it's like, when you lose games, but we just got to be patient.
Yeah. It will turn, it's just...
It will turn.
Yeah.
What makes it worse is the other lot won.
Yeah.
So that makes it worse because you get all that,
Yeah, look, we'll have last laugh there, I'm sure, but it's just tough going through it. You got to let them have their moment in sun, aren't you, I suppose, and they've got a lot to laugh about.
I've been getting messages, mind the gap.
I know.
I'm like, okay, fine.
That's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I just said, well, we'll see about the gap when you get your points deduction.
Exactly right. You'll come and talk to us at the end of the season. We'll see where we both are.
Yeah, we'll see. But, we've just got to stay positive, man.
Stay the course. I agree, Dave.
We're not here for one game.
True. Very
we're not
true.
Here for 2 games, but there was a little stat that came out today. It's the first time in our history that we've lost the first 6 games.
Is it?
I don't know if it's true. It was just said.
Sounds about right.
Somebody said it the first time we've ever lost the first 6 league games.
Dear, oh dear.
So,
okay, mate. No worries. Well, Dave, thank you for calling, mate. Always appreciate talking to you.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Catch up with you soon, pal.
It's only going to get better.
It will. Thanks, mate. See you soon. Ta-ra, mate. Nice one, Dave Morwood. Always cheers me up chatting to Dave. Top man. Thank you for jumping on and trying to sort of lift my spirits a little bit. I do appreciate it. Got one more caller to come, and he's one of my close pals. So let's get him straight in. It is the man with the view from the mountain, Paolo. How's it going? First of all, mate, thank you so much for doing the watch along today. How did you find it? Obviously the result was useless, but everything all right on the watch along today?
Gosh, yeah, just so flat, isn't it? To be fair,
yeah.
I don't think we deserved out the game. That's the thing of it. I think if you're going to win football matches, it's like people talking about one going in off somebody's bum or any sort of goal would do at the minute. We're not creating any chances, and I think that's the glaring problem, I think. And you think you're right in what you're saying in terms of just not, don't look like we look toothless. We look like there's not going to be any end product.
No, nothing.
And even when we're playing all right and we're keeping the ball and we're moving it side to side and we do get a few bits right in terms of the build up, just can't see where the goal's coming from. The final ball today was quite poor from some of from Gus Hamer, from O'Hare. I think at the minute, I'd have him on the bench, to be honest. After considering what he did at the end of last season, I think he'd coming off the bench. I think that's probably where he needs to be.
Lights
and I
a
think
fire under him, doesn't it? Lights a fire under him a bit.
Yeah, maybe. But I just feel like if you look at our strikers, and everybody's got it in for Cannon, and I get why to an extent, because he just doesn't look like he's ever going to score. But you have to say, our centre forwards have offered us nothing this season at all. So Campbell's offered us nothing at all. And I know that they're on their own, and you think, well, we do that because we have the three behind, etc. I can't recall Ty Campbell having a chance this season to score a goal, other than the one he took at Bristol. I can't think of another time when we've created him an opportunity to go and score a goal. And for me, that was so evident today. Even when we were playing reasonably well, we just did not look like we were going to score that goal. The final ball quality wasn't there from any of them. He, like you say, reverted back to putting players in positions where he knows they've played before. I was a little bit disappointed with Ogbeni, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit, mate. Yeah, because although I think he did give us something that we haven't had in terms of pace, obviously, and that I did see the defenders sort of dropping off him a touch, and he did burst through the middle at one point, and that's probably when we looked the most dangerous. I just felt like that final bit just wasn't there from any of them, and I thought Hamer's final ball was poor as well. So it's just disappointing, mate, because we build it up to be what it was, but he's not a miracle worker, Wilder, and we got to acknowledge that he's had 4 days to work with the team. Yes, was it better than before? Probably. I'm on. Can you see that I'm on a stream, Doug? Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Right, I'm live on the internet. Can you just give me a minute? Thank you. Sorry, mate. See, Mountain's going to get it in the neck in a minute. I've been on all day, as you know, but yeah. Honestly, mate, I was just so disappointed with the lack of intensity and the lack of final ball quality into the box. It was just not very good. It's Sim Mountain over the domestic. Sorry.
That has been. Oh, I don't want to say it too loudly now, but yeah, thank you for that, mate. I needed that. I needed that little bit of humour in my life, because
a little bit of a laugh at me.
I know.
You've been on it all day. I'm like, I know.
You are going to get it so bad now when you come off stream.
Well, I can make everybody else feel better. Yeah.
Thank you for taking one for the team, mate. Very much appreciated.
Never mind.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think it's been really disappointing today. I think we're all expecting a bounce, weren't we, from Wilder? Not from Wilder, but the Wilder effect to come on a little bit stronger, and the team would rise to the occasion. I think you do have to look at the players a little bit now. And people are like, oh, well, you're always protecting Wilder. I don't think you can put all this on Wilder, to be honest. I think you have to look at the players' individual performances, and he has to look at that as well now. Who's not stepped up to the levels that I was hoping for, and does that put their place at risk? You'd think so. You'd think so in some cases. What would you do going into Oxford, mate, to try and change things around? Would you leave it? Would you look at personnel? Would you look at formation? What would you do?
Personally, sorry, Mr. V, I'd be dropping Cal O'Hare, and I'd be putting on a second striker. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Ings could be fit. If Ings was fit, I'd sting him up front with Campbell and do what we've been talking about quite a lot on the Ramble, haven't we? The 3-4-1-2 that we've spoken about. I think that the forwards, certainly Ty Campbell, I think he looks like he needs a partner. I don't think we've had anything out of him so far when he's on his own. It almost went like that. So they were split into a 3, weren't they, across the back, and sort of Burrows was playing as a left winger almost throughout most of the game when we were in possession today. I think we've put so much pressure on Peck for considering where he's come from and you know the rise that he's had. He looks like he needs a rest. He almost needs to come out of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be taking him and Cal out I'd give Samari a go, because I think him and Matos might give us a better balance in there at the moment. And then play Hamer in front of him, so Hamer can drift around and be the creative spark in the middle. We need to find a way to create some chances, mate, because crossing the ball in as well. Like we're saying it, we haven't got a very tall team, and
No.
And I thought
that's a concern.
I think we got out. The physicality of Charlton today has done a little bit for us, to be honest. I think that they were a bit stronger, a bit bigger, and it was just like I was expecting the second half, normal Chrissy Wilder stuff. Get to 0-0 at half time. How many times have we said it? And I was expecting a bit of a siege in the second half that just never ever turned up. And again, I can't recall a noteworthy chance that we've created, and that's concerning. Against Charlton Athletic, promoted from the division below last season, we're nearly Premier League last year, and we can't forage a decent opportunity to score a goal. So there's a lot to do, Jim. But again, give Wilder time. We know he's had success before. We're delighted he's back. I'm still delighted he's back. It was just a bit unfortunate today that because we'd sort of built it up so much, and we were a bit
carried away. It's fair to say it.
Yeah, I know we are allowed to get carried away. And in hindsight, yeah, we probably should have toned it down a little bit. But I think we built it up to be a really.
It's how we were feeling, mate. It's how we were feeling, though, isn't it? We were positive. We were looking for reasons to be positive, and there is no better reason than Chris Wilder coming back, the man who took us to 92 points last season. We've every reason to believe he will be the right man to turn it around, and we expected it today, but it didn't come, unfortunately. So maybe there's a bit more work to do than we originally thought.
It's certainly, I certainly think so. I think the intensity isn't there in the players. They don't look to me like they're physically at the level. Louis Barry, for me, I know he's been put on the right today. He just looks
lost,
fragile. I don't see him beating men. I don't see. He looks like it all looks a bit too quick for him. I'm a little bit concerned, to say the least. And I thought Femi Sariki. Wow. Just.
Yeah, I know.
Just wow. Like,
it's hard, isn't it? It's hard because you don't like digging out your own players, particularly the ones that have come through the system. But it's tough not to call it as you see it.
We were talking about Noah, weren't we? I thought Tanganga did quite well today, but we're talking about Noah and like picking players up in the box and things like that. And when the ball gets squared to that forward didn't look like he wanted to score the goal. He just passed this in down the middle. It's gone through Cooper. Femi's lied down on the turf because he's not tracked the man he should have been. There's one bloke going to score that goal, and Femi's nowhere near him.
Man. Yeah, it's Femi's man.
And it's like,
if it's Godfrey, he's getting dog's abuse tonight, isn't he?
Mate, it's like the first rule. It's the first rule of any football. If there's a bloke in the box and you're a defender, and he looks like he's going to be the only one that can score a goal, how many times does it have to happen where there's one guy in the box who scores and there's five guys stood around him? This time, Femi Sariki, I'm sorry, his body position was all wrong. He wasn't tracking his runner. He's tried to turn and fell over. It's just awful. Coops, I would have expected to save it. I'll be honest. I would have expected Cooper, certainly last season's Cooper. I think he'd save that personally. I don't know what's going on, but we've got to go again at Oxford, mate. And it's a game where you go, oh, we're going away. We've got to go and beat teams like Oxford, mate. We've got to go and, if we're going to survive, I mean, we've got to go and beat Oxford. We've just got to, and we've got to go and think, how are we going to attack this game and give our forwards an opportunity to score a goal? Because at the moment, it just don't look like we're going to score. How are we going to score? These people talk about scoring off somebody's backside. You've got to get the ball in the box, and you've got to be moving and attacking the ball when it goes in there to get that kind of look.
You've got to move your backside.
You've got to be on the move in the box. I mean, again, harping on about Ronnie's football team who won again today, Jim. I just wanted to let you know,
nice.
4 wins on the bounce.
8-2 girls won today. First competitive game.
Well, there you go. That's the weekend sorted. Then
goal for Sophie, couple of assists.
Oh, nice. Get her in.
Yeah, no.
But no, they've won again today, and I say it all the time. I've said it to the boys all the time. You get nothing stood still. You'll never get anything stood still at corners. when the ball goes into the box, you're stood still. The likelihood is you're getting out. So I just tell them it all the time, and then what do? They go and score off a couple of corners today simply because they're on the move and getting going. Sheffield United, we do not look like we've got enough men in the box. That's the other problem. When the ball does go wide, and we're playing around with it on the edge, and it's slow build up again. We haven't put it in first time. You've got to commit players into that box because if you want any luck, you've got to siege the box. You've got to go and attack the spaces, and we just don't look like we're doing it. How many times are we going to have players hanging around on the edge of the box when we want them flying in the middle, get a decent bit of delivery, and get somebody moving in the box? You'd be amazed how easy it is. And Charlton certainly, I mean, the save from Cooper was really, really good from the header. Yeah, it was so simple, weren't it? Though for them, just one ball in.
For them, yeah.
It was just a bit too easy. And for me, they've got to be marking up the men. Yeah, I thought McGuinness got trapped under the. How many headers did he miss going over his head today? Judging the ball in the sky and getting underneath the ball and it going over his head again.
Do you know what you're doing now? You're trying to keep talking so you don't have to confront your wife about what happened.
No, mate, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to.
I know you are. I'm only messing, mate.
She's not come back in. When she comes back in, mate, I'm out of here. So yeah.
Listen, well, no. If you don't turn up for 3MB tomorrow, I'll know something's wrong. So give me 3 rings.
I'll do a safe and well check, mate.
I will. Paolo, thank you so much, mate. And I will catch up with you tomorrow for some 3 Mardy Blades action, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And
lovely job.
See you there.
All right,
cheers,
buddy.
pal.
Take care of
Thanks
yourself.
again for today, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Ramblers. Take care.
Cheers, buddy. Ta-ra, mate. Top man, Paul Man Mountain. He has taken us over time, actually. We are over 90 minutes. So let's just get the last couple of comments in here. Apologies, I couldn't read everybody. Scottish Blade says, good to see you today, Jimmy. A team devoid of confidence. We need to go 2 up top. Created nothing. Some players better, but still poor overall. Charlton did a simple job on us. This will take time. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Chef Paul says, Cannon feels like Brewster 2.0. He'll only find form when he leaves. I think Brewster's injured again, isn't he, to be honest? Rob says, Jimmy lad, I love Wilder as much as the next guy, but today was dreadful. Change to a 3-5-2, Tanganga, McGuinness, me, Burrows, Peck, Samari, Ogbeni, Hamer, Inches, Old Duffy with Cannon and Campbell up top. Okay. Grant says, the amount of times Ogbeni cut inside into his left foot and failed to put a cross into the box was outrageous. He's clearly not confident on his left. Yeah, that's something that Gaz pointed out. I agree. I think that's fair to say. Have another look. Jake says, here's my problem. We watched Sayers playing basically same lineup minus Cheo, and it was dreadful. Wilder was brought in to make a change and barely tweaked it. We need big time changes. 3 at the back for me. Okay. Andy the Blade says, my mate's just been in touch and says, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. Nice. Hope you're well, Father. You're supposed to be out now. I think he probably has gone out since he's put that comment down. Finn says, still back in the Blades to make top 6. Just think you were doing a cov of old with a slow start. Oh. Chris says, Tanganga was a dawdling liability with the ball at his feet. Awful. If that was Robbo played like that, you would have been on one of your not good enough rants, Jimmy. Oh, Chris, you and your loving for Robbo. My goodness me. I think it's harsh to say Tanganga were dawdling. I didn't think he was amazing in possession. I thought he was very good out of possession. I think he's an athlete. I think he showed his levels today when he's getting back and recovering. But there were a couple of times where he lost the ball and put us in a little bit of trouble. Particularly one I remember stood out where he got 2-1 and nearly led to a chance for them, or it did in fact. Morgan says, we're too reliant on Peck again. He really isn't ready for a leading role in a top champ team. I get 2 up top. Godfrey is nowhere near the levels of a £25 million player in recent years. Wilder will sort. Let's have a look. David Webster. That train's never late. I don't trust Wilder in the slightest. It was no better at all. He's got 4 more games. Deary me. Cody says, I think we've seen the best of Campbell last season. Slow passing, struggled to break Charlton down. I wanted to give Cannon the benefit of the doubt, but now I don't know with him. I think we've seen the best of Peck now as well. Okay, Tom Denton says, hi Jimmy, better than it has been in moments today. Let's just all remember League One promotion season and the first 6 games lost, and then look what we did. We can do it again. I think we're the first 4 games lost, Tom, to be honest. I might be wrong. Let's just try to be optimistic, like and subscribe. Yeah, we'll try, mate. We'll try. It's hard when you're losing 6 on the spin. Ray says, time for a coffee at the services. Probably feel better tomorrow, but this season is grinding me down. But I trust Chris to sort it out. Up the blades, up all the rambles, like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Hope you're good. Phil says, weak, slow, no drive, overcomplicating every attack. No one can head a ball or beat a man on the outside. No physicality. We're too small as a team. Easily knocked off the ball. Take Peck and O'Hare out, I assume, is what he's going for there. Some may say harsh. I think he makes some good points, to be honest. Those are obviously all the negatives. There are positives to pick out, but Jimmy will need to offer Man Mountain his spare room after that. At least something made Jimmy laugh today. Well done, Mrs. Mountain. I'm live on the internet. Man Mountain is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm live on the internet. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. In fact, I don't think there's much better way to let's have a look. Mr. V says, hi Jimmy, no need to apologise, Mr. Mountain. If taking no hair off will give us 3 points, I'm 100% in favour, even though I disagree with you. Samari in for Matos and Ings in for Campbell if it should be enough. But I have to go back to it, to be honest. I'm live on the internet. Well, thank you to Mrs. Mountain and Man Mountain, obviously, was the one that said it, for cheering me up tonight at the end of that stream. Look, it was a really disappointing result today, really disappointing. I think in hindsight, I can only speak for myself, but I feel a lot of Blades fell into this trap of almost expecting a win today. And that is, in hindsight, very disrespectful to a tough Charlton team who were quite plucky today, very well organised. And we just did not do enough. We didn't trouble them enough. We've got the quality to do it, which is the frustrating element of it, but we're not doing it at the moment. And Chris Wilder has got some job on his hands by the looks of things. So, and that's what he said when he first came onto Radio Sheffield. It goes full circle as to where we started, because he came on. First thing he said was work to do, and I agree, big work to do. So, but we'll be there, won't we? Because we always are. We're back with 3 Mardy Blades tomorrow. We'll get an extended point from the man who is live on the internet, and we'll also get the opinions of Dave the Nose Leary, who always offers, or usually offers, a calm, considered head with these things. It didn't quite work out that way when Ruben was in charge, but usually Dave can mellow us out a little bit. So join us then. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock for 3 Mardy Blades. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades!